So the people want to know what the mindset difference was for you going from $100 a trade to $100,000 a trade.
Okay, so it was definitely gradual, but I will say the major difference was I became a robot in the markets. I became heartless. And I think you used to see me trade like that. It's just about being, you have to be emotionless. You have to be objective every single day in the market. It's about growing. It's about having the objectives and about growing steadily every single day, rather than trading with the weight of the world on your shoulders, trading with the problems you have, trading with the bills you have due. Because if you trade like that, $100 losses can feel like $10,000 losses. $100 wins can feel like $10 wins because they don't match up to the problems you're currently facing. So what really swapped that mindset was becoming a robot, becoming heartless, essentially. That's really what took me from $100 a day to $100,000 a day. Hey guys. Now, before you say anything, before you run to the comment section and absolutely cook me, I just want to say, I'm sorry. I'm back. Hi. I want to start off by saying I am very, 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 very sorry. I know it's been 2 months since the last episode, since episode 9. I know I've been rolling out the episodes back to back to back to back to back, but I just couldn't the last 2 months. I really needed to lock in and get these trades out. It was so intense. It was so crazy. And in today's video, which is the finale, because the 6-month time frame is up for me to finally try and make $3 million. The 6-month time frame has ended. As of making this video, I will show you guys all the trades. I will show you how much I made, whether or not I passed the challenge or not. But I just want to say I am sorry, guys. It's been a while. I know you guys were on my Instagram. You guys were actually everywhere. If I posted a reel, you guys were in the comments roasting me. If I posted a story, you guys were on my stories roasting me. If I posted a TikTok, which I so rarely do, you guys were in my TikTok section rolling me. Roasting me. But I want to say something very important. I really appreciate you guys, because if it was not for you, the YouTube community, the SE family, if you guys didn't hold me accountable, I don't even know if I would have done episode 10. And that is the truth. I don't even know. And I want to say that you guys really make me better. You make me a better content creator. You make me a better trader. I really do appreciate everybody. And the fact that you guys were telling me, come back, where's the next video? Where's the next video? Where's the next video? Come and film, means you guys really appreciate the content and you guys like it. And I see it with the views. My channel is fairly small at 29,000 subs, but you guys really push up those views. You like the videos, you comment, and it means a lot. And I just want to start off by first saying I acknowledged I messed up on my end, but I appreciate you guys. And I am doing better all 2026 for you. I promise. I am moving everything off. Fuck everything else. YouTube, fuck everything else. Because you guys saw me active on IG. You know I've been super active on IG. Fuck IG. I'm coming for you guys. Because you guys really love me and appreciate me. And I'm gonna make sure that I keep bringing the content for you. I promise. On my RM, I promise. I was gonna say on my wife, but I kind of, that's my wife, you know what I mean? But on my RM, I promise. And on my future cars, I promise. So that's that. That was a long ass apology, but I needed to make it as long as 2 months. You know what I mean? There's like my old, 60-year-old. I don't know why I'm feeling Italian. Right? You ain't show my dry ass feet on camera, but you ain't gotta do a brother like that, come on. I started off this journey with one goal and one idea in mind. I wanted to start building my supercar collection, right? I really wanted to start, I wanted 5 supercars. I wanted to build it up. And for that, after we went through a long process of trying to pick and find cars that I wanted, the total budget came up to about $3 million. Now, the goal is I had to make $3 million in order for me to actually go and get all of these vehicles, right? Because your boy likes to purchase cash. I'm not too big on collecting and flipping for cash later on or selling investments. Cars for me are just enjoyment. Watches. So I had this one goal in my mind to go and actually build my supercar collection. I needed $3 million for it. And I will show you what happened. I will show you what happened over the last 2 months. But one thing that's also very important that you guys should know is that, as you saw with all the previous episodes, I showed you before I took a trade, as I was in the trade and the result of the trade. Now, for the last 2 months, you guys haven't had that footage of that content. But what I am gonna do for you is I'm gonna break down every single trade I took since the last trade you saw. And the best part is, like I've been telling you since I started this challenge, every single trade that I take, I send to the war room. So we're also gonna go through the war room and I'm gonna show you a lot of your results that you guys were sending in to me. I will show you exactly what we've been doing the last 2 months. It's been insane because it wasn't just about my growth, it's about everyone around me. It's better that you're not just watching, but you're growing with me. That's why I also created the war room, so you guys can benefit just as much as I am from this challenge. Maybe some of you are not gonna make $3 million. Maybe you only make $10,000. But I'll tell you, that's $10,000 more than you had before the challenge started. Maybe some of you make $30,000. Maybe some of you make $100,000. But I'll tell you what, you always end better than when you started. So that's something's gonna be super amazing. It's gonna be super fun to go and show you guys all those results. Every trade I took in the war room, I'm gonna break it down for you step by step. Reason for entering, reasons I lost, reasons I won. We're gonna break down everything, and then at the end of all this, I'm gonna show you the total amount of money that I made. As you guys can see, somewhere up above here, you guys can see the total balance. We're gonna subtract, is this side? Okay, we're gonna subtract $650,000 from that because if you guys on my IG, you saw I finally made a $650,000 withdrawal. So we're gonna subtract 650K, but we're gonna add it to the total value of everything that was made. So you'll handle that, right? I appreciate that, because if I start dropping numbers, I'm gonna get so confused. You wanna take care of me? I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So that's that, team. It's gonna be a fucking vibe, bro. It's gonna be a vibe. So I had a couple of ideas for this video. So I thought, one, it can be a lifestyle video, take you guys about my day like I've been doing. Go out, we have fun, you see what I do, how I'm living, all the things I'm doing. But then I thought episode 10, episode X as we're calling it, absolutely needs to be the most value packed. You guys know how I live, you see it. I've been doing it for the last 9 episodes. But this one here needs to be the one that you keep coming back to watch because it's going to make you better. It's something that you're going to grow from. So I'm gonna break down 40 trades. I took 40 trades. I'm gonna break down every single one of those trades for you so you see it, because you never know, you might see the same structure play out tomorrow or next week or a month, and you can go back and execute just from my own learning and my own trades that I took, because it's always about being better. So make sure you pay attention, get a notebook, always revisit this video so that you can actually learn from the trades, learn from everything that I'm doing. And I also, like I'm promising you guys, it's going to be fire content. I have another video lined up already to drop also at the end of this week. I think on Sunday, it's gonna be dropping on Sunday. I got everything for you guys. I'm gonna be dropping consistently just to get back into your good graces and make sure you guys know that I'm serious. I'm 100% serious about you guys, for real. And then on top of everything else, then I think another thing is, if you guys want to join the war room, you want to join my private channel, all you have to just do is just click the links down in the description down below and I'll take care of you guys. My team is here, I'm here, I got you, because we're going into 2026 and I want everybody focused and locked in. It's going to be so insane. You got to focus up, you got to lock in, because 2026 is going to be a wild, absolutely wild year. Trust me, this year alone was my biggest trading year ever. My biggest trading year ever. I swear I had multiple $100,000 days. It was insane. It was my biggest trading year ever, and next year is going to be absolutely insane. It's gonna be fucking insane. So I want you guys locked in. I want you guys better than you were this year, because it's 2026 now. 2025 is basically done. Lock in, stay focused. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go grab something to eat because I'm hungry, and we're gonna go to my desk and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I was working on. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna open up some of your results, since for the last, me and my team started collecting your results for like the last couple of weeks. Just the last couple of weeks. I'm gonna put on some of the results on the screen, and I just want you guys to just see what we're doing over here. Essentially, those are your results. Those are just some of the results we collected. And yeah, insane. This challenge has just been incredible, man. I just look at a lot of your results, a lot of the messages you guys send me as well. Like, I've just seen the improvement, and it is fucking amazing. It rocks. You guys rock. Let's keep crushing it. Anyhow, let's get into the trades. I need to show you guys all the trades, show you how we're actually able to make money, because we love the lifestyle, we love the cars, we love the watches, we love the freedom, but let me show you what it actually takes to get the freedom, right? What I do, what I bust my ass doing every day to make sure I can do the things, to make sure I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do, take the trades I'm able to trade, help the people I can help, and spend the money I can spend. So let's get it. So we're gonna start off by looking at trade one. Now I wanna start by saying trade one is the best trade that I took over the course of the last 2 months. This is the best trade. However, of course, I did take some fire trades afterwards, but I just wanna talk about this one first because you probably did see it in the last video. I know it's been like a few months, but like 2 months since the last video. So I do want to just go over this trade again and just let you know why it was absolutely so fire. Okay, so starting off with the setup. So the setup, initially gold is pumping. It's going to new all-time highs. I, of course, was just waiting for another opportunity to buy, especially after we had that sell-off. We had a bit of a buyback. Price came in, retested its previous resistance, and we had a sharp reaction from the markets that ended up seeing us selling. Now, just because we had that sharp reaction started selling, that doesn't indicate that now all of a sudden the market's going to be bearish. Everything, especially around October, was pointing for gold to continue bullish. I just saw this pullback as gold just shedding off some positions, going down to grab some liquidity before it can slingshot all the way to the top. Now, what I did do as price was falling, obviously it fell, it started to reject, and I want you to pay attention to the wicks because my strategy is based off pure price action. I take a lot of my information from how the candlesticks look because it tells me about what traders are doing at particular areas and zones. So looking at this major wick, and you start to see these long wicks start to play out, you start to see sellers trying to get in and the market just kept being pushed up. Now, seeing all these wicks, that's when I decided to draw the trend line at the bottom to try and see that maybe this was a point where a trend line could start forming. Now, what I did decide to do to wait before I took the trade was for that strong bullish close and a bullish engulfing candlestick to give me confirmation that buyers are finally in and trying to hold the market to send it higher. Now, initially, I was like, this trade is going to be fantastic, especially if I caught it at the very bottom of the trend line. Hence why I had the 1,500 pip take profit on this trade. That's what I did. I had 1,500 pips on the trade because I was like, we're gonna go absolutely insane. We're going to continue flying. Now, of course, I didn't know where price is gonna wind up, right? Because obviously you don't know where it's going to go in the long run. However, I did target right before a strong psychological level because that's usually where most people were going to, most traders were going to try and push price to before something happened, if we had a major reaction. So I kept my take profit at around 3,983. So that's still about, $17 before 4,000, but this seemed to be the most ideal take profit for me, and I didn't want to be too greedy. I mean, I say too greedy, then proceed to have a 1,500 pip trade. So that's insane. But now looking at this trade, as of course price bought up and started to trade upward, this is not the only trade I did take. Let's just take this off the screen for the time being. Okay, as it was buying above, we came above this previous area where we had a reaction where price fell in and bought out of it. And it's around this area that price seemed to have somewhat of a reaction. And what I did end up doing was I saw it go up and I saw it pull back for a bit of a retest. And then I called in another trade at this particular level and I entered in on more positions myself, targeting a lot less because this, I do take day trades. So when I have a long swing position, doesn't mean that's the only position I'm going to hold on. If I see another opportunity for entry, I'll take the trade. I didn't take it with the same take profit because I have my destination where I feel price is going to end up. I'm going to take trades in between there. But of course, I still manage the risk because if the pullback happened to my initial entry, these trades and the wins and losses shouldn't take me out of my really good position. So that's something I want you always to take into consideration. When you enter a long position or a short position that you're holding for a really long time and you're trading in between that take profit zone because you want to trade every single day or there's better opportunities that you see on the way to your take profit, those trades have to make sense. So if you lose, say, all those trades and they completely outdo all the work of that first initial position, then it's a really bad trade, right? Then it's a really bad trading day and you're not really managing correctly and you ended up just being greedy and not being strategic with your position. So make sure that if you're trading in between holds, that they make sense because you don't want to have a trade where you're holding for $100,000 and then you take a bunch of trades between there. And then as you're doing that, those trades, you just end up losing and those losses equates to about $98,000, $100,000. Then what was the point of the hold if you were just going to go and lose all that money? Now, another thing to take note of, even if you didn't plan to lose the money, you don't plan to lose the money, but it's just one of those things you need to take into consideration. Be smart with your money. Now, after it bought up, it came back down, of course, to the level. I'm perfectly fine and I was perfectly comfortable with the trade overall because, of course, my SL is all the way down there, but also this trend line is offering a really good area of support for me because this is the trend line. So if price does come back, I expect it to touch the trend line, but not necessarily break and close and start trading lower, because everything was indicating for price to buy. But not just that, we had, of course, an area of somewhat consolidation where a lot of decision making happens between buyers and sellers. As you can see, that consolidation period before we have a reaction. So as price went up and it started to pull back, that was expected due to the previous history that I could see as well. So once we had that sell off and the price started to buy back, I was perfectly fine when it hit take profit while still holding my overall major position. Now, as we were getting closer to the take profit, this is trade 3, as you guys can see over here. Now, trade 3 over here, I had price buy in. It created some resistance as well. As you guys can see, it created some resistance. And once we had the resistance created, as you see, we went up. We tested with this wick. Let me zoom in for you. We came in, we tested it with this wick. I didn't know it was resistance at the time. I waited for that next part. Price come in and it sells out of it. We go in and we sell out of it. Now, I'm not shorting any of these positions. Why would I short when I'm overall bullish and the whole market is bullish? So I'm not shorting. I am still going with the trend. Trend's your friend. Trend will always be your friend. So what I did wait was for maybe price to either do one of two things: come down here. After that touch, maybe come down here and then start to buy out of it. And maybe I'd have taken some positions here, but I didn't get what I quite liked for me to continue with the overall trade. So that's perfectly fine. So my next better position was for me to break above this resistance where price clearly was rejecting off of, for me to continue with the overall trend. Now, once that happened and we did break above, as you can see, once we broke above this candlestick, even though as long as it is, of course, there was that challenge. It was going back and forth, up and down. And I think closer to the close, it was around this point. So I was like, okay, this is definitely closing bullish. Entered on my next trade, kept my SL, of course, below that previous resistance, which was now support, just to keep my trade safe. And as you can see, let me just show you this. And as you can see, my take profit still was before the last one. I think I was just taking some trades here and there. Just wanted my guaranteed hits. I love to have my guaranteed hits. 300 pips on this trade. And then I had another trade as well. Let's just delete that off. I had another trade as well that I did take as price came back to that next resistance area and started to buy out again, which was 340 pips as well. Took that trade as well. Made some money off of that. And then I had my final hit at 1,500 pips. 1,500 pips. I got my next hit on that. So these trades were absolutely amazing. It was 1, 2, 3, 4 trades that I took over the span of from the 2nd of October all the way until the 8th of October. So these were the trades I took. I had a hold over the weekend for this main trade. And so from the 2nd to the 8th, these are the 4 trades that I took. And overall, if we're talking about pips, I did 1,500 here. I did 300 here. I did 320 here. And I did 300 here. So overall, I did 2,420 pips on these 4 trades. So that was insane. Absolutely insane. 2,420 pips, which was absolutely crazy. And if you look at how much I was risking overall, so now let's move in to the 8th of October, right? So let's come into the 8th of October because I did take a couple of trades there as well. So here I did take a buy as price went above. Now we're playing the all-time high. So now we're just in new territory overall. Now, I did end up losing this trade. Now, I lost this trade for one particular reason. I was still too bullish. I was overly too bullish, and I think I was coming off that excitement of all these wins on these bullish buys. But the problem was price had to stabilize at some point. We had just been flying for some time. Price had to stabilize at some point. So as I did see us buying up, I started to see price trading upward. I should have taken into consideration that we're going to need some pullback for a bit of stability because we've just been pumping, and maybe before we continue with the overall bullish run. And of course, I was burnt because I did take my trades and I did take them on what was a low probability setup looking at it now. So not the best trade, and I ended up losing. I lost about 100 pips on this trade. And then of course I had the next one that I did take. I ended up losing again 120 pips. Now let me explain the next trade and why I took it. Now the reason I took this one was because of course we created resistance. And as you can see, we had so much respect with price just respecting the 4,050 area and playing the 4,045 area, right? So we're just playing and respecting around this range. So once we finally get a strong break and close above, I enter bullish and price decides to tank. So again, the reason for this is overall with my strategy, this is how it works. You guys saw it work with the other trades that we did take. Overall, my strategy, I wait for breaks of structure and strong closes above, and then I enter with the trades. So whether it's bearish or whether it's bullish, really doesn't matter. The only reason is that this failed is still I didn't take into a couple of consideration. I didn't take a couple of things into consideration. Number one, we've been buying for some time. We're way high up. We're in new territory, uncharted waters, we're way high up, and we have a psychological level down below, which is 4,000. Maybe we could want to go back to retest that area first before we continue buying. And there was going to be, of course, profit taking at this point in time. So I did not take that into consideration, hence why I got burnt on the trade. So now coming into trade 7. We had our pullback. We had price, of course, starting to trade upward. Now let me explain. We had our lowest point. We're having a little bit of a higher low, still within the same range. I wouldn't really truly consider that a higher low, though I do base it off the bodies of the candlestick. So yeah, higher low, though very close for my liking. Then of course we had a higher low as well. So I start to see price create higher highs. Not too cleanly, obviously, because, they're not just necessarily too clean, more consolidation as well. But then once I see price start to trade higher again and start to kind of like sit on this base that I did structure up before, and we had, of course, that little bit of a gap, I assumed we were going to go up and retest there as well. So I did want, of course, a longer hold because I thought we were going to slingshot higher. I thought we had definitely, come and grabbed as much liquidity as we needed before we started to slingshot higher. That was my mistake. However, the trade did shoot up 200 pips and I did secure partial profit. Now, partial profit meaning the SL shot to entry at this point in time. Once it shot up to entry, came back, I went up about 200 pips on this particular trade, which is dope. 200 pips on the trade. I secured partials and I had my SL at entry at this point in time. I wanted 630 pips from it, obviously, but that was more of a stretch. So I think I was being more greedy than I was necessarily being strategic. I was being strategic with my overall trade because, of course, though, I didn't have any history to the left of me to base my trade on, but I was targeting, of course, a psychological, though it would have been a longer hold. I got 200 pips from it. I think I secured a little under 200 pips, some partial profits. With this particular trade, I did secure about 200 pips because we came back to that previous resistance. SL was at entry because I expected some pullback. I didn't expect it to come all the way down to entry, and it ended up tanking. So pretty smart of me to have that SL at entry because we were in uncharted waters and at an area where this is, of course, market reaction. So ended up tanking, which is perfectly fine. Now let's come up to our next trade, which was an absolute beauty. Take profit on the trade. Now what happened? We need to take into consideration everything that happened before. Now we finally broke above the strong level of resistance that we have been resisting since the 8th of October, and we finally break above it on the 13th, on the Monday. Now once we break it on the 13th, we have price fall down into a retest, and we just kind of have it just trending upward on this trend line. You see it solidly on the trend line. So of course we're waiting for a strong pump upward. I don't see it coming back down. We had our retest there. I consider this the retest. I see it trending upward. Then what I did was we had that support, that resistance it had created before prior, and you see price kind of just hugging this area. And once we go above, I take the trade. I keep my SL below the trend line, obviously, and considering that if price did come to hit the SL, this would be my second point of entry, that previous resistance that we failed to break, and we finally ended up breaking after some time because of the strength and the reaction that happens once price is in that level. Price decides to shoot up, perfect, goes and hits take profit. Now I had my take profit above a psychological level, which is perfectly fine for me. Continued and played out in my favor. Beautiful trade, 400 pips on it, absolutely amazing. Now this is one thing I want to tell you guys. When you're trading in uncharted territory, especially in all-time highs, you can target psychological levels. You can keep moving your take profit as price is going about until you start to see certain things take place in the market, new formations of structure. That's what I tend to do. And then of course your best friend is going to be the fundamental side of things, understanding what investor mindset is looking like, understanding what's happening in the world with whatever particular asset you are trading. Those are also going to be very important things for you to look at and just be very much better prepared going forward. Now look at the major profit take that took place on the 14th. Crazy. So let's come up, of course, to the 15th of October when I took another trade, hit take profit again. Now we have to look at a couple of things. So if we're looking at where we had our reaction and we had our sell, we see price coming to create, respect some resistance in this area. And you see us start to trade above, but still respect this area, which is around the 4,180 mark, right? So we're still respecting this area as well. And you see us still playing above. So also what I was looking at, if we pull this down as well, I'm seeing price trading, I'm seeing price create a new structure, and I'm seeing price play within a new range. So this is the new normal. Now, understanding that, I just had to find the ideal point to enter my trade. So as we fall down, we create a low, we create a higher low. I see us start to trade above. I take my trade and keep my SL, of course, below that previous low. Not too much, not too crazy. It was a very simple trade. I didn't want to target anything too crazy. I went for 240 pips, which is just targeting that previous high,
just to keep it absolutely safe, because another thing that I do want to say, I didn't know where we were going to go, and you don't want to be too greedy as well as you kind of see how many buyers and sellers are in the market as well. So it's very active. The zone is very active. You can see, it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. You see, one side hold the market and one side take over. So it's a very challenging market, though we did have clear ranges to target, and that's just what I did. Entered my trade nice and cleanly, 240 pips out of the trade, done. Now, moving on to the 16th again. So this one was on the 15th, my bad. This was the 15th. It hit take profit on the 16th. And then we have another trade that I took here on the 16th, which ended up going straight to SL. Now, I did go up into profit about 120 pips from my point of entry. Partials were secured here. And then of course, SL was an entry. I just put I always put the price range every now and again, just to remind me when, I took partials and what type of trade it was. So I put the price range always, just to always remind me what I did with the particular trade. When we were going up, I took some partials, SL at entry, because I was confident we were going to continue trading above, and it just failed and it came all the way down. It came to break even, and had I kept my position open, it would have come straight to SL. Now price goes above and of course creates an all-time high. The reason I have this still here is because this is still currently the all-time high. As of making this video, this is still currently an all-time high. Price, falls a little bit. We come back into, respect some support, strong bias into the market, strong reaction. I entered the trade on that reaction, and I never ended up securing any partials on this trade. It just went all the way up, and then, it just came straight down to SL, and that was out of this trade. Reason I entered the trade as well, we came to support. I see the strong bullish movement as well, so I think we're buying back all that lost momentum. I think we're going straight back to the all-time high. I'm looking at the candlesticks and I'm liking how it's feeling, and it just doesn't happen, doesn't play out that way, which is fine. But you see what I did later on. I'll explain those trades afterwards. So of course, price is ascending, price is definitely ascending. We're having higher lows as well. We come back, after we broke this previous support, we come back and we start respecting it as well. Price definitely starts to respect it a lot more. As you can see, touch here, and of course touch here on the wick as well. Now, what does this tell me? We have resistance. We have resistance above as well. So the highs are maintaining the same height. The lows are getting higher, and we're still overall in a bullish market. We do have some correction as price just absolutely tanked over there. So this is good for me. This is good news to me. I'm liking how everything's looking. And then we had a break above that area of resistance. Once we had that strong break, I entered up on the next bullish candlestick and went all the way to take profit, keeping my take profit below the all-time high because I wanted that guaranteed hit. Now let me also show you what I did here as well. As price came down, I saw it buy out of it and close strongly bullish. So this was of course a pullback, another opportunity to re-enter. Now I wouldn't have known this would be the opportunity to re-enter because this was still forming. But once I had that closed and that confirmation, took the trade, went up and hit 450 pips on this trade as well. And then I had another trade within. As price broke above this area of resistance and we had that strong bullish candlestick, I entered another position targeting the same take profit for another hit on the trade, which was 280 pips on it as well. So 280 pips, 450 on this one, and 850 on this next trade. So pretty solid trades. Pretty solid, really good. October was going absolutely insane. So let's come on over down here to the 22nd of October. Now what happens in this particular trade? Now over here, we sell and we come into some support. I see price go above and come to respect it as well. So kind of the same sort of structure play that happened previously. We go in, we come back down into that support, that strong bullish candlestick. I entered on it, and as you see, goes all the way up to 260 pips. I wanted 500 from it, 260 pips, secured some partials. The reason I secured partials here, as you can see, this was, of course, our previous resistance zone. As you guys can see, price fell in, created that nice resistance, and then went low. So, of course, secured some partials there, and then SL at entry, and price absolutely tanked. So, okay, trade, I got half of what I wanted. I mean, nothing too crazy. I still closed above a 1-to-1, though I love a 1-to-2 always. But anyways, really good trade. Had partial, didn't hit take profit, but still made money for the day, so I'm happy, right? I'm never stubborn in the trade. What I love to do is always manage my trades. As price is going, as the plays are happening, I'm always going to manage my trade as I go about to just make sure everything is kind of working out as well. Now let's move on over to the 23rd of October, trade I did take. Went and hit beautiful take profit. Now you can see I have a wedge that was forming, right? So we did have lower highs, but we're also having higher lows as well. but the overall trend of the market is bullish. So I'm in favor with the buys, going with the trend, sticking with the trend. Price creates some level of resistance, which is now support, and we start to test it. Then we start to get these candlesticks upward, and then I take the trade on the next bullish candlestick. Well, this close particularly. I take the trade on this close particularly, enter the trade to 200 pips. Solid trade, really good, really easy win on this one. Stuck with the trend, not getting too greedy. I could have targeted this previous high, which would have been about 400 pips, but of course, I'm not trying to be too greedy. I just want what I want from the markets in and out. Now, as this is happening, the next trade I end up losing. So I didn't secure partials on this trade personally, because of course, once we had our play, so we had a W forming over here. So we have our W forming, and then we have price coming to retest and respect the previous support, and then we have it start to buy in. Now I enter on this next candlestick to try and take it to the top. Now I wanted, as you can see, we went up. I think the highest this trade went up was 80 pips. I wanted 200 pips from it, so I wasn't going to start securing anything. I was still below 1-to-1 on this trade, and as you can see, it just absolutely plummeted. Just went straight to SL right after going up 80 pips, shot all the way down to SL, ended up being burnt. Now, one thing I didn't take into consideration that I didn't pay attention to was the area of resistance that was just right over there. I should have started to take partials and move SL to enter here in case we had something like this to take place, because as you can see, that's where we were expecting to potentially have some contest in the market, and it did happen, and the sellers won. Now, there was also this high we could have targeted. There's all the highs over there, all this lost momentum that we need to come and cover, all that major imbalance that needs to be sorted out, but didn't end up playing out that way. So perfectly fine, because the next trade I absolutely killed it. Now, same trade is, as price came down, I had another W form, right? So this is on the 24th of October. So I have price come all the way down here, create its W, and buy all the way to the top. Now I entered on this candlestick as it was going up because, I mean, it was pretty strong, broke resistance, and it was, of course, if you look at how large this candlestick was, it went all the way until here, came back down, back and forth, and closer to the close, I entered on the trade, and then it went absolutely crazy and went straight to take profit. Now, another thing I did take into consideration that I didn't before in that previous trade where I lost was this level of resistance here as well. We had a couple, we had this one here as well, but I just, paid attention to the height of it all. And this is the one that I was worried about initially, but of course, I was confident that we were gonna start to buy up, because overall, when I looked at the market prior, because I didn't just base my trade off of what was happening here immediately, I did have a nice trend line at the bottom as well. I was trying to see that we are having higher lows as well. So even though this is similar to that, I had more confirmation that this trade was going to continue in my favor. 500 pip trade win from a 100 pip loss over there. So we had a 500 pip win. So very beautiful. And on top of that, I'm with the overall trend of the market. And this was a higher probability than this trade over here. So this was a higher probability, more confirmations, and just absolutely beautiful structure and a nice trade. So that went in ahead, take profit, utterly beautiful. Now, we're coming here to the 27th where we hit take profit again. I had the gap that was created over here as well over the weekend gap. Price never came to revisit it, which is beautiful. That's fine for me because I was going to target it in the long run anyways. Now, when I see price come down and start to trade back at this level of support, basically where we had our major reaction. The reason I marked this one up is because look at the reaction that took place previously on the Friday before. We had price from this point, we had that reaction, right? This reaction is very important, right? Because you see the type of reaction that happened around this area. So I'm expecting the same thing to kind of take place over here. And another confirmation is that it's also in tune with our trend line. So that's even more confirmation. Now, I didn't go too crazy on the take profit, even though I could have targeted the gap, because at the same time, I like what I like, and I like that guaranteed TP hit. And looking at the current setup with price, as you can see, we had some resistance there as well. So I just wanted what I wanted in and out, and this still aligned very well with my risk to reward. I wasn't trying to be too greedy and hold for the full close. I was going to wait for other things to happen for me to even try to continue bullish. So as that happened, I took 320 pips and won the trade. Now, another thing I also want to tell you guys about me is that I'm never going to be greedy in the markets. Maybe I can make the mistake of being greedy time to time again. That happens for most traders. But if you see what has saved a lot of my trades, where you see me hit take profit, then you just see price spiking against me. After I've hit take profit, you're like, how did you know? How did you know? It's for me, when I enter the markets, if I see that a potential 1,000 pip move is going to happen, I might try to just take it for like 700, or might try to take it for 600 or 500, because that guaranteed move is not always guaranteed, guaranteed move. that move is not always guaranteed. Even if the analysis is lining up, you just want what you want in and out. In and out. You take what you need in and out. Trying to always get the maximum output, the maximum hold is going to get you cooked, especially if you're someone who is stubborn with SL to TP. I have a rule, SL to TP. So if my trade is trending and I'm in drawdown for a while, I'm not going to close the trade. I'm going to let it go and hit SL. TP, if the trade is in my favor and I have everything is lining up and there's no events that are gonna possibly make this trade go against me, then I wait for TP, or just manage my positions. Or managing your positions is very important. But if you're just stubborn way like it's SL or TP, you're gonna find yourself missing a lot of your trades. Trades could come 10 pips from your take profit and then reverse because you didn't want to manage or secure partials or pay attention to the market. So you never want that to be you in the market. So for me, I'm never too greedy. As much as I want TP or SL, if that's the type of trade I'm in, I still am realistic. I still want to manage my positions and I still want to make sure that I'm still being profitable overall. And then over here, the reason I lost this, I'm gonna be very simple with you. I started to get, just started to doubt a little bit just to see how, prices just started trading lower after the break of my trend line and just started to see trading lower and just not coming to revisit that all-time high. And that sell that had been going on for days and weeks. So I just started to say, okay, maybe we could be bearish a little bit. Maybe I'll just change the bias a little bit and go bearish, right? Go bearish a little bit and make some money, because I don't want to miss a couple of trading days. My mistake, because after making 320 pips there, same day I lose 120 pips. So of course I'm overall profitable for the day, but I went bearish because we sold in and price came in back to its previous level of resistance. So I ended up taking a sell, thinking that we were gonna spike down, which we ended up doing, but I mean, my SL was too tight. It should have been a little bit more, but I wasn't targeting anything further. I wanted like 300 pips from it, so this risk to reward didn't make sense to me. And at a 1 to 2, still would have hit my SL. So entry was poor on this trade. Guessed the direction really well. My entry was just poor. I should have waited just a little bit longer and I would have made a bit of money. So yep, that was just my fault. While I lost the trade, changed the bias, but I was still right with the overall direction. Just a very poor SL. Now coming back here as well, we came in to test support, price goes above, and that was my mistake. I should have noticed that this is the point of reversal and I missed it and I tried to go bearish again at that level of resistance. Very poor trade, low probability, poor trade. So that was just my bad on this trade. Pretty shit trade. I didn't like this one. And then here as well, so I ended up losing. So I lost 1, 2, and then I lost 3. FOMC, need I say anything more? Dumb trade. Shouldn't have been trading the news. I don't usually trade the news. I was just confident in the trade because we created resistance. We came back into it. So I was certain we were just going to continue spiking up. FOMC was going to be in our favor and it just absolutely tanked against us. So shit trade there as well. So I had lost 1, 2, 3, and then 4 trades in a row. So I'd lost 4 trades in a row after coming off such a crazy win spree. But here's the beautiful part that I want to tell you is that when you're losing, it's important. Look, I lost 100. Okay, this is we adjusted. It was 120. I lost 120 pips here, 160 pips here, 120 pips here, and 150 pips here. But when I win 320, 500, 200, or 260, and then you have 800, 450, you have crazy wins. So as long as your risk to reward is always fine, these days don't mean anything at all. As long as risk to reward is fine, you could take 5, 6, 7, 8 losses in a row. That really doesn't mean anything. Here, as price was going above, it was just a poor entry. Late entry that saw me get burnt because we were trading upwards. Everything was lining up. As you can even see, price came to retest this previous area where I wanted the reaction to happen. And it was just a poor entry. SL was too tight. But, for me at the same time, my trades are all sent out, right? So all my trades are sent out. And one thing that I'm not going to do is, even though I do see the trade going crazy, potentially, this SL makes no sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me, especially for the take profit that I wanted from the trade. I could have easily targeted all that to the left, but I was looking more immediately at what was happening in the market. I could have targeted something crazy like that, but that SL made no sense. And, I just wanted to kind of keep and protect our capital as well, because you never want to start offsetting a lot of your wins on just like shitty trades. So I went through a bit of a losing spree as well. So I ended up blue. So this day doesn't count. I ended up blue for this day. So that was red, 1, 2, 3, and yeah, it was 3 red days overall. And then I lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades. I lost 5 trades, but overall 3 red days because I won overall ended profitable here, lost here, lost here, lost here. And then when I lost here, I ended up winning for the next day. for the next trade. So another green day. So 3 red days, 5 losses. So let's go. So over here as well, with prices descending, we kind of create this level of resistance. As you can kind of see how we're playing over here. Create some resistance here as well. So I see price potentially going to trade above and going to hit maybe that level of resistance is what I ended up targeting, right? Ended up targeting that I ended up targeting that level of resistance. Now, the reason I took the trade, very low probability because of what the market was doing. But like I said, I have my rule. If I'm in drawdown in the trade for hours, I'm not going to close the trade because I analyzed it and I know what I want from the trade and I know why I put my SL where I did because I was prepared to lose as well as I am prepared to win. That's just my rule as well, right? So as you can clearly see, we had a descending wedge. Very poor, nothing very crazy, not too strong. So that was my mistake. We break above it and then we just consolidate and then, you know, just have no reaction and price tanks. We just have absolutely no reaction from market and it absolutely tanks. So pretty poor trade on that one. And then finally a sell finally takes, you know, I finally get a sell and finally make some money off a sell, which is crazy because I haven't been selling for a while. No, I haven't been profitable for selling for a while. So now moving into this trade. So we sell, price shoots down, comes back to retest, and as it's going down, I took my trade on the retest. I wanted about, how much did I want from this? I wanted about 450 pips from this. Looking at this trade as well, this was a nice sell. As you guys can clearly see, price broke past its support. We had a strong break of structure. We came down below. We created support. We went back up to now test resistance. And as price was coming down, I ended up taking my trade there as well. I wanted 450 pips from it. I was only able to secure about 250. Not all my positions was closed, but majority of my positions were secured around here because we had that support. Now, what would have given me that strong defining factor whether or not this trade was going to continue bearish, that was all going to be up to whether or not we were able to kind of break below that support, which ended up not taking place, and starting to see that consolidation and price just staying over here. I was confident that, you know what, it's probably going to continue back to the top side. Hence why I then just jumped out of this one because it was obvious we're going back to the bullish. We were going back to the bulls. Now let's talk about the next trade that I took on the 6th of November. So as price, of course, started to ascend, usually, naturally, or naturally is a strong word, but these usually break bearish. The market's always unpredictable. You have to pay attention to a lot of different factors. So what happened with this particular setup is, of course, as I see everything ascending, I realized that it was kind of pointless just putting the trend line trying to find this channel, because overall, as well as, you know, as I see things ascending, I got the higher lows as well. We're going back in favor of the overall market trend. So of course, as I see price ascending, we hit the bottom of the trend line and then I ended up buying it to the top side. So I ended up buying as price started ascending upward, it closed its gap, but I ended up buying because initially what I did expect was for price to go back up to test that support. That's initially what I wanted from it. I wanted to go back up to test that support because overall the indication that we started back, the overall indication that we were going back to the buyers was right there. It was clear. It was very much in my face. So I decided to continue with the overall trend and theme. Now, of course, if we start to reverse here, that's around the point that I was going to use as potential, you know, start securing some partial profits, which I did do. SL was at entry at this particular point in time. Let me show you here. So SL was at entry once we had approached. So around that, we had approached, it was about 160 pips. SL was at entry, secured some partials, and then we went for the height to like 330. Well, the overall height was 360 pips, but I think I probably secured about 200 overall from an intended 550 pip trade. Not ideal, but at the end of the day, like I said, you have to manage your trades. Had I just left it out, this trade would have ended up coming back as a red day. So that's perfectly fine. Price didn't go and run the full movement as I wanted it to, but I made some good money off of that trade regardless. Now coming over to this one where I wanted to go bearish. I think this one just kind of is self-explanatory. This was on the 7th of November. I saw a head and shoulders and I thought we were going to continue breaking, continuing the pattern, maybe breaking down below to come and test maybe some of the support that was down here and then continue the bullish run. Of course, that didn't happen. Price just ended up shooting right on the second shoulder and then just went up to the top side. So I ended up taking a L of 100 pips on this trade, which is fine. It's nothing too crazy. And then coming here to the 10th of November, right? So now we're on the 10th of November. Price is clearly buying. I don't want to go back to like the 1 hour, the 4 hour time frame, because you guys know strategies I break them down from the other time frames. Once I find the overall trend, I go with it. If I can find structure in line with the overall trend, then on the higher time frame, then I will of course go with that. But I wanted us to do the 50-minute time frame because majority of the trades that I'm going to take are going to be executed on the 50-minute time frame. So when I execute them, so I'll do the analysis overall on the bigger, higher time frames, but then I will find the entrances on the lower time frames. And if you can find structure and structural breaks in line with what you see on the higher time frames, then that trade becomes even more beautiful. Hence, you see all the take profits being hit. So the only thing is I don't want to keep going to the higher time frame because you won't be able to kind of see the setups, and I'll have to keep jotting back and then it'll be too confusing. So what I'd rather do is we just work on the 50-minute time frame because you'll still be able to kind of see the setups and the structure with it as well going forward. Now, in line with this particular trade, price was going up. So after we broke this strong level of resistance that we had been chasing for some time, since of course, even though we had the breaks above, the last time we fell into this area was around the 27th of October. And then we do have all this ground to cover, right? Since we started selling, we have all this ground to cover. Hence why I was just confident in the trade constantly going up. Now, I think I might have missed some of this. This was around 4 or 5 a.m. I only started trading later in the day, say around noon. And of course, went up. We just created a bit of support, a slight support, took the trade and then went up to the top end with it. Got a young 240 pips from it. Nothing too crazy. Like I said, I'm not always going to be trying to hold for maximum moves, but I will get as much as I possibly can within reason. Now, coming down to the next two trades that I did take on the 12th of November. So as price kind of goes up, we create some nice structure for us. We get some resistance, we come down, we get some support. You see some nice structure. You also see some nice bullish moves and bullish plays as well. As you know, you kind of see, sellers just pushing the market down after the brief climb that it did have for the last day. You see that sell kind of happen, but then we see the creation of that beautiful structure. You see us ascending nicely. This also to me was just a gear for a nice, this was a nice preparation for a strong move as well. Hence you kind of see how the structure kind of changed. Now we're just, we're getting a lot more precise, a lot quicker movements. This is preparation for a major break. So I marked it up. I got the ascending wedge. I got the ascending channel. Which is fine. Like I said, they usually break bearish, but I'm going with the overall trend of the market, and price just absolutely went beautiful. Absolutely went beautiful. We get higher lows, obviously, and price shot up. Now, another trade that I did have lying in wait was above this previous level of resistance. As long as we had a break and close above that level, I was going to take it on to the top side. So I had two trades ready to play out. This trade I had set up actually beforehand. So this trade I had set up beforehand. It wasn't during this play out. I knew I wanted to take trades above here beforehand, so I just forgot to tell you guys that. And then this one down below was a trade I took before. So overall, I was going to be bullish. I wanted to take price up to the top end. I didn't have a clear range of where I wanted it to go, but I was able to take 250 from here and 230 from this trade as well. So pretty good, a little under 500 pips on both trades, but they were incredible. Once we went up, we just never stopped. Never stopped. So beautiful trades overall. Now let's come on over to this trade on the 13th of November. So now we're in, we've been buying for some time. Price kind of stabilizes a bit. I'm seeing price kind of fall. Now let me show you something interesting. In a bit. So this is initially how I'd marked it up, a bit of a descending wedge, right? So I had a bit of price descending. And once I got that confirmation on the previous resistance, now support, strong bullish candlestick, close, I took the buy because like I said, they usually break bullish. Now I wanted about 290 pips from this. The height of this trade was 150. As we broke above, I did of course secure some partials because I passed my 101 and SL was at entry and it ended up reversing. So took a bit of money on that, but then it came back to take up my last position at entry. Pretty fine, still made some money, so I'm happy about that. Coming down to the next trade. Now the next trade, I got a little excited because I thought it was the setup from the very first trade that I took, which was on the 2nd of October. So remember the 2nd of October, I had that trade, where I took 1,500 pips from it, which is insane. So I saw something similar forming and I got pretty excited. So I see price dip in and I see it pump out, right? And I see it come back to dip in, that strong bullish close. And then I'm like, okay, this could be insane. I was gonna target probably the other highs, but I was like, let me not be too greedy. Let me not expect the same results. So we just targeted a little above the previous high. And as you can see, once I bought in, we went up about 150 pips in profit. I wanted 420 from this. I remember securing partials, and because I remember this trade clearly, once we bought up, we came down bearish, and then we bought up, and then we bought up, and I was confident that we weren't gonna come back down. So I'd moved my SL to entry at this point. I think I took a little bit of profit. I think I took like, what was it, like $12,000 initially from this trade, if I'm not mistaken. I think this one was $12,000. I'll go and check my TradeZilla, but I think it was like 12,000 on this particular trade, and it just absolutely came down. So that was not what I was happy about, because I didn't hit TP. I mean, I hit TP here and here, but you know, the last two trades I didn't hit TP. I'm happy I made some money, 150 pips. It's really good on gold. Most people are scalping only for 30, but you know what I'm saying, bro. I like to hit my TPs. I love hitting my TPs. Oh, and I proceeded to hit a bunch of TPs, if I do say so myself. Anyways, let's continue going. So coming down to the 18th of November. So price is falling currently. I see price falling. I'm able to draw a nice descending wedge, which is beautiful. Price is falling. So as you guys can see, we have our descending pattern going down. We have our descending channel coming right now. Price is descending. We're at a descending channel, and like I said, they always break bullish. But because of how wide it was and how much we actually had to work with between touches, I wanted to take a trade while I was still inside. So while I was still inside the channel, I decided, you know what, let's take a nice trade, make some money off of this. So as you can see, price comes down below to the bottom of the channel and it buys up, right? So it comes below and then it ends up buying up. And once we buy up, we start to sit on the base, and then I decided to take a trade just basically off where we had a light reaction. So this is where I knew some orders be fulfilled. Initially, I wanted to take it to the top, but I knew we were probably gonna break. The reason I predicted we were going to break above this channel was solely because we had been falling for some time. And then, so once I saw price come to the bottom of the channel, I saw it buy up, came down, and then as we came down, I ended up buying price as well on this little area of support. Very brief, nothing too crazy. And then price decides to buy up. It comes back down to test the same area. And on that next bullish close, so we have a strong bullish candlestick, we close, I entered a trade on the next candlestick, taking it to the top. So right to break above the wedge. Now, of course, I was targeting these previous highs. I wasn't gonna go all the way up there. I just wanted the next previous highs. I took 310 pips from here and 300 pips from this particular trade, which is pretty good and it's pretty solid. I really like the trades. They were very quick. The second one, of course, being a lot more cleaner. This one, I think I was in it for since about 12:30, and I hit TP at around 6 p.m. So not too long. Still just a few hours. Beautiful trades. I really like them as well. Now this one, now the next trade that was on the 19th of November, we of course we create some nice structure, nice BOS, fine. And we have another BOS, but however, with this particular trade, we could have gone a lot higher had I entered sooner. Now this one, I missed the precise entry, which was down here on the retest. I was probably going to enter on this candlestick, knowing my strategy, because I'd have gone up, come back, had that strong bullish close, then entered the trade. Then I could have hit about, I could have hit about like 380 pips. However, that's not the case of what happened. So I entered late on that candlestick, and I kept my SL, of course, on the previous touch. Price played around, and then eventually it shot up, and I went up like 210 pips. Started securing some partial profits. I was really confident in the break because number one, we had finally broken above our level of resistance where we had just stayed around, right? So I thought once we finally closed above, we were gonna get that long haul. So SL at entry, secure some partials, and then let my stronger position run to the top. Didn't happen, ended up coming back to take me out at break even. So I secured some money, but of course, didn't get the desired result. So we will 210 pips on my remaining positions, and the last one on break even. The next one, of course, inverted head and shoulders as it played out. This was on the 20th of November. Price went up, it broke above that previous neckline, you could say. Broke above, and then I ended up taking my trade. I got 830 pips from initial. I wanted 470 from it. 130 pips. I remember securing just a bit of profit. I was confident in it because remember, this is what it looked like before, right? So I'm seeing that strong break. It's pushing all the way up. I'm like, okay, cool. We're pretty solid. Let's go. A little bit of profit. Nothing too crazy. This was like a low profit day for me. And then of course came down to take out that SL, but it hit me at a break even because I went way too early. I went way too early. But sometimes if you kind of see the running theme with how I trade, you'll see that sometimes I'm protecting a lot of my positions, right? So sometimes I'm protecting some of my positions because it depends on the probability of the trade. High probability trades, you kind of see me just let it go through. But then when a trade's a little bit lower probability or there's just a lot of friction, but I'm still kind of happy with the setup and I want to still get into the trade, I tend to manage my position just a lot more carefully. So it was a small profit day. It could have been a lot better had I entered a little later, but I couldn't have seen that coming because price ended up, I mean, with the same entry, had I entered a little later, that was like 260 pips I could have taken, but I made some money, so I'm happy. Now with the next trade, nice W, broke above that previous support. Pretty simple trade. Honestly, nothing too crazy with this one. We had some support, nice W, strong bullish candlestick, took the trade for 340 pips. Nice take profit hit, clean break. Initially, I could have targeted these, but I ended up just aiming my positions a little higher than this previous high. The reason for that is that it wasn't too crazy. I had a lot of history to the left of me as well. And if we like pull all the way back, I have a lot of history there as well. So these, it wouldn't be too crazy to kind of aim for anything little above that previous high, because aiming for that one at this point in time would be a little bit more ambitious. That would require a lot more work, a lot more groundwork for price before you could even consider that previous high. More of a long trade. But you guys know something about me, I am a day trader, so I'm not going to try to be in trades for weeks, months, you know what I mean? I'm like to be in and out within the same day, or maybe a couple of days depending on how well the setup looks, but that's really about it. So coming into the closing phases of November, right? And this is where the challenge comes to an end. The challenge comes to an end on the 30th of November, the last day of November. That's when the challenge comes to an end. And I'm gonna share with you guys my TradeZilla to show you exactly what that looked like, how much we made. But on top of that, I'm also gonna show you guys December, right? I think it's gonna be super important that I show you guys December, so you just see the irony of everything, right? So you just see the major irony of everything. So I'm gonna show you guys December as well. So let's look at this. So November, price is trading upward. I see us break above that previous resistance. We sit, create some nice support from that previous resistance. I see us still playing in it. I take the trade bullish and it just shoots down. So wanted, of course, these previous areas of support before it did anything major. So I saw it come down through, go up, come and test the support again. And these bullish candlesticks are pretty solid. I'm liking how they're looking, right? They're looking very good. And I see that next bullish candlestick. I take my buys and I went up. I did secure partials on this one. I remember correctly. I did secure partials on this one because from the point it bought, it was up 150 pips. So the reason why I also took partials was because of right here as well. It came very close to that resistance. Like I said, you'll know what to do with particular trades when you approach certain resistance levels that you're already in the trade. So if you're in a buy and there's some resistance before, some untouched areas, then when price enters that area, regardless of how high up or how good your entry was, even if your entry was down here and you want to say something like this, you would have to take into consideration some pullback in this general region. And then what you do is probably find an area it would pull back to for you to potentially add more positions. Of course, took some partials and then price decided to fall against me, right? It hit not necessarily a one-to-one, took some partials, pretty light. No. I didn't close this trade profitably. I closed this trade red. The team had take profits in between, but I closed this trade red because I didn't end up securing. I waited a little bit. I wanted it for the hit, and I actually didn't take this one. I closed this one red. Yeah, I remember that. And that was my last trade off the trade to buy series, guys. That was the last one. And then everything else is the 1st of December. So we're gonna get into December, but before that, we need to talk about the trade to buy. We need to talk about certain things. Firstly, like you guys need to see the overall profit of what I was able to make and why I was able to make it. So we're gonna discuss that right now. Before we even move on to December, I want to show you guys the TradeZilla, and we're gonna see exactly how much I was able to make over the last 6 months of trading. So let's get it. So starting off in October, right? So of course some days were green, but like it could be green with wins and losses, right? But overall ending the week green. Sorry about my screen, guys, a little dirty, but we ended up with about $590,000 on that one. $590,000. So we're gonna add that to our tally, right? And of course, what we'll do is we're gonna also add that $650,000 withdrawal. If you guys follow my IG, you guys see every time I do withdrawals. So make sure you guys are following me on my IG and in my Telegram group, which is free. Every Telegram group is free, it's private. You can join it. And then November, right? So November, pretty good. November came up to $520,000 in 18 trading days, right? So 18 trading days, we did $523,000 roughly. That's what we did, right? So pretty good, pretty solid. So I just want to continue by saying that I made about $2.3 million in the last 6 months of trading my balls off, which was insane. Now I wanted to do 3 million. The goal was 3 million. So I needed to not make 3 million. My equity didn't need to be on 3 million. The actual target was $3,250,000 because $250,000 was the initial deposit. So the total equity needed to be at $3,250,000 for us to have officially hit the goal, right? But that didn't happen. That didn't happen in the time frame. That's cool. I'm about, I'm like damn near a million short of hitting the target. But it's been amazing, right? That shit's been amazing. It's been absolutely amazing. Like, I can't even fault something like this. This is insane. You know what I mean? It's insane. It's absolutely insane, because if you think about it, yeah, I know there's people, you know, football players who are doing like 50 million, 100 million a year. That's perfectly fine. But this challenge was great. Yeah, I didn't hit the $3 million mark when I wanted to. That's perfectly fine. But the fact is, I'm a lot better than when I started. You guys get me? Like, I'm a lot better than when I started. I was able to accomplish so much, and I'm kind of at a point where it's like, okay, well, shit, I didn't hit my target, and I'm someone who I left to finish what I start. I didn't finish my target. I didn't hit my target. It's pissing me off, but I'm like, but I am $2 million richer for it. You know what I mean? There was no way I was losing this, because when you in general, anybody, if you set your sights on something to become better, even if that thing requires hours and hours and hours of work and labor and back and forth, if you actually dedicate time to it, you never lose. Even if you don't hit your targets, if you say, dude, I want to be ripped in the next 1 year, and you're not ripped in the next 1 year, but you put in the work, I'll tell you, you're going to be a lot better than from when you actually started. So I've just looked at it, and it's been insane. This is the most I've made in 6 months. Yeah, this is the most I've made in 6 months. So this is also a milestone for me, because it's been insane. Boys, it's been insane. This is a milestone for me as well. I couldn't hit the target, that's fine, but it's all good. But it is a major milestone for me. So I just also want to thank you guys as well, because as much as I did the challenge, you guys did hold me accountable, and I really locked in for the last 2 months. I wasn't able to release content because I've been dropping content like every single week since the challenge started. And the last 2 months, I just absolutely locked in, and I was able to make the most I ever have. Because you guys remember the challenge when it started, I did like 43 the first month, I did like 300 the next month, I did like 90 the next month. It was very fluctuating. But then when I really put my head in, I hit 500,000 every single month. And that was beautiful. I think that's just a statement in itself, right? That's just a statement in itself. But I gotta, let me just show you December before we break down the trades. I just want to show you guys December on TradeZeller real quick. That's the irony of it. Let me just show you December. I want something noted though. Remember I told you that in the beginning, it's going to be slow, right? The account is smaller. I know it's $250,000, but when it started, the account is going to be smaller. So the trades will be smaller, the profits will be smaller, but they'll gradually grow as we compound. So the bigger the account got, I realized 6 months was a real stretch. And this has been my December. Fucking insane, right? Fucking insane, right? I think overall, this is what's wild to me. What's wild to me is the fact that it's at, what's this? $763,000. Now you're probably like, bro, you were able to almost double the last 2 months. The only reason I can do that now is because of the last 2 months. You know what I mean? So I'm not able to do this in 6 months as, you know, I wanted to. And also, because like, if we're not going to add the $763,000 to the overall trade, because that's not within the time frame. But if we add it to, that's $3 million total equity, but it's still not the target. I'm still 200K short of hitting the actual target, right? But what's fucking insane to me is the fact that compounding is key. Discipline and compounding is utterly key, because guys, this is my fucking life, man. I put so many hours here, bro. This is my fucking life. I have to dial in, and it's so difficult sometimes to do the content. I know I apologize to you guys in the beginning of the video, but I won't lie to you, it's so difficult to do content and still be as successful in trading as I am, because this is my life. This is all I do. You know, last time I disappeared off social media for like a year. Like, I wasn't actively dropping anything for like a year because I needed to focus, I needed to trade, I needed to deal with things, and this is what pays my bills. This is what is going to fund the rest of my life. So sometimes I just need to lock in, I just need to dial in, I need to just work as hard as I can. But luckily, because of this challenge, you guys, it's availed a lot more time for me. I'm gonna be trading just as much, but it's also availed a lot more time for me because, you know, I did 2 million in 6 months. You know what I mean? I'm at a point, I've seen millions before, obviously, but it's like never this fast and never with the intention, if you get what I mean, like saying that I'm gonna do this. Yeah, I didn't hit the 3 million mark, but you know what I mean? You get what I mean? Anyways, so yeah, man, that's just what I wanted to share, guys, with you. It's been real. It's been absolutely real. It's been absolutely real, and I'm so happy. I want to break down the trades for you for December, so you guys kind of see what I've been doing this whole December, because I've been killing it. I've absolutely been crushing it this whole December. Though I think just for the sake and the integrity of the challenge, I just wanted to show you that because that was mental. We'll leave the December trades out. I will show you guys that in another video. I'll break down those trades for you. And also, just because it's all green doesn't mean I didn't lose. I think I lost there's 2 days when I had losses. So I did have losses in 2 days. Doesn't mean I didn't lose. It just meant that overall my days were green. I always ended up profitable in my days. So I take like multiple trades a day and I'll still always end up profitable. So that's the beautiful part of it. It's really good. It's a really good run. And my trade as of making this video is making money. So probably gonna have another green day if I hit any take profits. But yeah, shout out to everybody, man, who has been part of this journey. I know it's been a while. And yeah, we're back to regular scheduled programming. So don't even stress about that. I got you guys. Beautiful content. There's no stress of like really trying to get this done. I'm still gonna be trading hard. I'm still gonna be doing a lot of amazing stuff. And what I want you guys to do for me is let me know what you want to see. Because we weren't able to do the challenge, I have the money. So we still need to go and get some cars or something. So I want you to stay tuned for that because we're gonna go on an amazing journey now because that's just finding what we like and getting it. Just finding what we like and getting it. You know what I mean, bro? So that's the high part. That's all it's about now. It's just like, oh, I like this one, let's get this one. Oh, I like this one, let's get this one. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we're at right now. But in terms of the challenge, we're coming to a strong conclusion, an amazing conclusion. It's been fucking fantastic. I've been so hyped, bro. I've just fucking hell, bro. It's been wow. It's been wow. It's been wow. My ass has got imprints in this fucking chair with how long I've been sitting and just grinding. Let me tell you something. If you do not put in the work when you don't have nothing, you will get complacent at this point in time. Because I don't know if I ever told you guys, I got complacent when I started making a bit of money. And not even $1 million, bro. But when I first withdrew like I think it was like 200 or something K. Do you understand how complacent I got? And I got utterly screwed because of becoming complacent. Do not become complacent. Now I've done 2 M's in 6 months. I'm trying to aim for my $1 million month, my $1 million trade. That's what I'm aiming for. And I want like $1 million trade. Like I want to hit $1 million just one trade. You know what I mean? That's gonna be insane, right? What is that? Imagine doing $1 million trades. We have like what? Like do we have like 200 trading days a year? Man, that's 200 million. Probably never gonna happen that way, but I mean, it could. You never know. I mean, there was that Japanese trader who turned like $10,000 to like 100 million in like 3 years. That was insane. But what I'm saying is I'm aiming for even bigger and even better because there's so many things I want to do. There's so many things I'm destined to do in my life. And I'm rambling, but fuck it. You guys have to hear my thoughts. You got to hear my thoughts. There's just so many things I want to do and so many things I'm destined to do. And I need a lot of money to do them. You know what I mean? I want to have my own private jet because I love travel. Me and my wife love travel. So I'm going to need that. I'm going to need to get me some Cetra Airways, bro. I'm going to need that. And I want to finance one too. I don't want anything. I want something fine. You know, I want a finance jet. You know what I'm saying? I don't care much for yachts and shit like that, no. But like, I want to reach a certain level of living and a certain standard. You get me? Right now, it's nice. I mean, it's cool living. You're seeing 2 million. And if you're someone who doesn't really have money or doesn't understand money like that, you're probably like, bro, whoa, that's crazy. But that's not even my dream car. That's like what, 30% of my actual dream car. You get what I mean? So it's really, in the grand scheme of what I'm wanting to achieve, it's nothing. You know, but if you're someone who's dreaming of like, some people dream of Toyota Camrys, and 2 million is a lot of money if your dreams are at a certain level. My dreams are way above. Compared to the man I'm gonna be in the next 3 years, I'm hella broke, bro. Hella broke. 2 million, but I just have to live in the moment as well and be grateful to God for everything I've been able to do because I worked my ass off. And yeah, so anyways, team, that's all I wanted to share with you guys. I'm sorry it took so long again. When you really lock in, you know what it's like. And I know everyone watching this, you know what it's like. When you really lock in, you know what it's like. When you have to lock in, you know what it's like. That's why I commend the top YouTubers who got 10 million, 20, 30 million subs, because it's like, woo, to do content and work, but the content is their work. It's just not the same, vice versa. But anyways, you know what I mean. Team, I appreciate y'all. And I'll see you guys in actually a couple of days, believe it or not. Yep, I'll see you in a couple of days because, like I said, regular scheduled programming, and I need to start building my garage now. So yeah, I'm gonna do another withdrawal, and we're gonna make some money. Let's go test the waters because shit, you know what I mean? It's about that time.